Aware of.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. When I heard that during all the chaos and the carnage of the recent earthquake in Haiti, a bunch of dodgy American missionaries were stealing more than 30 babies and whipping them back to the US, I really wanted to puke. And all the talk about them being adopted to escape the devastation was really just a ruse to enable a bunch of crooked Christians to steal kids and brainwash them, and possibly worse. Big ups to the Haitian government for putting a stop to the human trafficking. And of course, Mr. Speaker, the link between them and us is that the bill that we're considering tonight will hopefully amend our own Adoption Act to bring it in line with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, because our laws simply do not deal properly with the international movement of adopted children. The situation in Haiti is a case in point. More than 2,500 children stolen and illegally removed every single year. A brutal reminder of the vulnerability of children being targeted on the back of a natural disaster, capitalising on a crisis to separate children permanently from all they know, their families, their culture and their land. Hopefully, Mr. Speaker, this bill will help us to protect our children from such abuse, strengthen our compliance with the United Nations Convention, improve court responsiveness to domestic violence, and enhance the protection of children and families. This bill, Mr. Speaker, also gives me the opportunity to put on record my support for some of the really positive work being done in the Tai Tokerau through agencies like Amokura and their family violence prevention strategy. A community-based initiative to address family violence and promote whānau well-being, which has the support of the chief executives of iwi who have made a long-term commitment to preventing whānau violence. Aupauri, Te Rarawa, Ngāti Kau, Paengaroa, Ngāpuhi, Ngāti Whātu and Ngāti Wai. And it's also an opportunity to remind us of some of the practical things that we can all be doing. Supporting parents and whānau, establishing our own tikanga about how we care for our mokopuna, and trying to see things through their eyes, keeping their space alcohol and drug-free and free from the dire consequences of domestic violence. And while we're taking these steps up north, Mr. Speaker, it's also good to see that legislation is being introduced to ensure our children are protected from all forms of violence, including psychological abuse, bringing the Care of Children Act into line with the Domestic Violence Act, moving to appoint lawyers to act for children involved in proceedings under the Domestic Violence Act, and breaking down the barriers to registering protection orders. Children suffer from the impact of violent and aggressive behaviour, so we need to keep their voices always in our minds, remembering always that even if our mokopuna are too small to put their fears into words, we know the impact of such trauma on their development and their learning, and how unchecked it can lead to a whole raft of other major problems later in life. Teenage violence, suicide attempts, learning and behavioural problems, mental health problems, drug and alcohol issues. So this bill, Mr. Speaker, is timely. It's not perfect, and hopefully the committee stages will help flesh out some of the more important issues like court referrals for drug and alcohol, and opening up eligibility for domestic violence programs to ensure the whole whānau learn from the experience. Mr. Speaker, the Māori Party is happy to support this bill and the knowledge that we are all part of the village that helps to raise the many wonderful and gifted children of mokopuna that live in this wonderful land that we all call home. Kia ora tātou.
Dr.